Om Ganana Tva Ganapati Gammavahe Kavin Kavinam Upavashravasramam Jeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Notibisi Dasadanam Om Mahaganadipataye Namaha Om Keshwaya Namaha Om Narayana Namaha Om Madhvaya Namaha Om Govindaya Namaha Om Vishnuvaya Namaha Matsudaya Namaha Raya Namaha Sridharaya Namaha Rishikeshaya Namaha Padmanabhaya Namaha दामोदराय नमः संकर्षणाय नमः वासुदेवाय नमः प्रद्युम्नाय नमः अनिरुद्धाय नमः अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुन विषाद योगः धृतराष्ट्र उवाच Dhritarashtra said, having assembled on the holy plain of Kurukshetra, desirous of fighting the battle, what did my people and the Pandavas do, O Sanjaya? The Gita begins with the word dharma. It's very auspicious. Dharma is something very auspicious. It's an auspicious word. By using it, first word, Vedavyasa Maharishi gives an auspicious opening to his great work of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is the embodiment of Dharma. Reverence for Dharma is worship of the Lord himself. By the utterance of his name, the aim of the Gita and its main teaching are determined by the very first word, it is Dharma, and to support the good people in every yuga. Dhritarashtra means, the word meaning of Dhritarashtra means who holds the kingdom which is not belongs to him. He who appropriates to himself a kingdom which is not his. That is Dhritarashtra. The word inner meaning. The real man has nothing to do with the kingdom of the body, sense, and mind. The word has an inner meaning also. The real man has nothing to do with the kingdom of the body, sense, and mind. These are all objects perceived by the real man who is the seer. The body and the world are objects to be seen, but the ignorant man considers the body to be himself and develops attachment and egoism in relation to the world. Therefore, we need to clear our bad belief or the difficulty. In the 87th chapter of Vanaparva of Mahabharata and the 5th chapter of Kurukshetra is vividly described. In former yugas, Brahma, Indra, and Agni performed tapas, great tapas in the sacred place Kurukshetra. And so it is called Kurukshetra because Kuru plowed the land. Indra offered a boon to Kuru that anyone who performed tapas or left his mortal body in the Kurukshetra, there would be the people who die in the Kurukshetra ascend to men. Many great and holy men performed meritorious acts of dharma in this place, and so it is called Dharmakshetra because so many people performed meritorious acts of dharma in this place, and so it is called Dharmakshetra. It is on the part of his sons and the Pandavas under the influence of the holy place of Kurukshetra, and both sides might desist from the Pandavas. And so it is evident that the blind king is partial to his own children. Partiality between Pandava's children and Kaurava's children. So Dhritarashtra is not fair as a king. He is not fair to both the children. Sanjaya is the official war reporter of the Gita. It shows that only a man of purity of heart was qualified to hear, understand, and communicate the teaching of the Gita. Moreover, Sanjaya, by his personal merit, purity, and the grace of the Vyasa Maharishi, and caste, race, and color are no bar to in Gita, education of Gita. To the first question of Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya gives a direct answer in the last 78th verse of the 18th discourse. Wherever is Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, where victory, happiness, and sound policy, such is my conviction. That's what Krishna says in the 78th shloka of the 18th discourse. Anikam yodam duryodhanastada acharyamupasangamya raja vachanabhavravit. Here, Sanjaya says, King Duryodhana saw the Pandava army arrayed in battle order, and then Acharya spoke these words. So here, the Duryodhana is not a king, but he has been considered as a king because he is the leader of the Kaurava party. Commentary. Drishtadyumna, the son of King Drupada, was the commander of the Pandava army. He arranged the army in a special formation known as Vajravyuha in the science of the war. Duryodhana might have approached Dronacharya for the purpose of asking him to arrange his own army in a more powerful formation. Duryodhana was a king possessing overall command of the entire Kaurava army. Dronacharya was one of the commanders. How does it happen that the king, instead of asking the commander to meet him, should himself approach him personally? Because Duryodhana is a student and Dronacharya is a teacher. Duryodhana might have been struck with fear when he saw the enemy army and heroes like Bhima and Arjuna. Fear, of course, is not an auspicious sign. Number two, Drona was a commander and should have been at the post of the duty from whence he should not be disturbed at that time. Drona was a teacher also, learned old man as well, and it is the duty of Duryodhana to show him respect. Number four, the purpose of Duryodhana was to win the favor of Dronacharya for achieving his own selfish object of winning the war against his cousins Pandavas, who were also the disciples of Dronacharya. It should be noted that Duryodhana, like Arjuna, later saw the armies on both sides. But what a difference in attitude! Duryodhana never had any qualms of consciousness, nor any feeling of pity for those who would be destroyed on the both sides, nor the supreme question of what is dharma under these circumstances, nor any reconsideration of his attitude which would naturally arise in the heart of an evolved being. Arjuna was far superior to Duryodhana as a man, and so his reaction was entirely different. And the divine message of the Gita was offered to him because Arjuna was fair and he is worried. Duryodhana speaks to Dronacharya. Paschaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatin Chamom Vyudan Drupada Putrena Tavatishyena Dhimata. That is third shloka. O Master, behold the great Pandava army formed in the battle order by your wise disciple, the son of Drupada. Commentary. This and the following verses are spoken by Duryodhana according to common usage. It should be mentioned here as Duryodhana Uvacha, but Vedavyasa Maharshi did not give his respect as Duryodhana Uvacha for this sentence. But Vedavyasa does not give him the privilege of naming him as the speaker because he is evil-minded. Duryodhana is deeply skilled in diplomacy. He tries to curry the favor of Dronacharya by personally approaching him. Not only that, he tries to rouse Dronacharya's passions of anger and hatred by referring to Drishtadyumna as the son of King Drupada. Duryodhana knows how Drupada insulted Drona and how Dronacharya avenged the insult by humiliating the king with the help of Arjuna, and how later Drupada, in a vengeful spirit, obtained through a holy sacrifice, doing a yajna, big yajna, a son who would cause the death of Dronacharya. And that son was no other than that present commander of the Pandavas army, Drishtadyumna. Duryodhana tries to fan into the flame the ancient hatred between Dronacharya and Drupada king. His purpose is evidently to rouse the combative spirit of his master by speaking highly about the enemy formation under the leadership of his disciple Drishtadyumna is spoken of as Dhimatha. Dhimatha means well versed. He is very experienced, well versed, and understood the art of war. So it is that the Pandavas choose him as the commander of their army. Now we'll go to the fourth shloka. Atra shura maheshtvasa bhimarjuna samayudi yudhano viratascha drupadascha maharataha. We will read fifth and sixth also together and we will discuss together. दृष्ट्वकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित्कुन्तिभोजश्च शेद्यश्च नरपुङ्गवः युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्त उत्तमौजश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथः. Here in the Pandava army there are heroes and mighty archers equal to Bhima and Arjuna in the battle. Here in the Pandava army there are heroes and mighty archers equal to Bhima and Arjuna in battle. They are Yudhanu, Virata, Drupada of the first order of warriors, Drishtaketu, Chekitana, the valiant king of Kashi, Purujit, Kuntibhoja, Shaibya, the best of men, the strong Yudhamanyu, the valiant Uttamauja, Abhimanyu, the son of Sobhadra and Arjuna, and the sons of Draupadi, all indeed heroes of the first rank among the warriors. Duryodhana refers to the heroes and mighty archers of the Pandava army as warriors equal to Bhima and Arjuna. Evidently, these two Pandava princes strike terror into his mind. There may be two reasons why Duryodhana mentions first the warriors of the enemy forces instead of those on his side. He wants to rouse the combat spirit of Dronacharya. He feels somewhat discouraged by contrasting the power of his own army with that of the enemy. The word Maharataha means the one who is capable of fight single-handed with 10,000 archers and who has mastered the use of all weapons of offense and defense is called Maharatha. Yudhana is also known by the name of Satyaki. Drishtaketu, the son of Shishupala, the king of Chedi. Purujit Kunti Bhoja, the brothers of Kunti. Draupadeyascha, the five sons of Draupadi, the five Pandavas, princes through Draupadi. One is Prativindya, Shitasoma, Shitakirti, Satanika, and Shrutasena. These are the five children Draupadi has got from the five husbands. Having named some of the foremost heroes of the Pandava army, Duryodhana mentions the names of warriors on his side. So we are going to the seventh shloka. Aparyaptam asmakam tu vishishtaya tani bodhajujottama nayaka mama sainyasa samnyartam tan bravimate. O best of the twice born. Here the twice born is called Dvija, and those Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas who has got Upanayana ceremony, and those who had Upanayana, Gita, Gayatri, Upadesha, they are called second born, twice born. Now recall to your mind the names of the distinguished warriors on our side. So Duryodhana says the names of the leaders of his own army now. Commentary. Duryodhana now tries to infuse fresh courage into himself by recalling the names of the eminent warriors and commanders of his own army. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjaya Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumadattistataivacha. These are the heroes of his own side. Yourself, that is Dronacharya, and Bhishma and Karna, and also Krupa, the victorious in war. Ashwathama, Vikarna, and also the son of Somadatta, and many other heroes also who have given up their lives for my sake. Duryodhana says they are ready to leave their lives in the war for my sake, armed with various weapons and missiles, all well versed, well skilled in the battlefield. While mentioning the heroes on his own side, Duryodhana first refers to Drona and next to Bhishma, though the latter was the first supreme commander of the army. Duryodhana might have referred thus just because he was directly speaking to Dronacharya, or because it should be proper to refer to his teacher first, or because it would be inspire Dronacharya to do his best in the battle. Though Dronacharya knew the chief heroes on either side, Duryodhana, on the pretext of reminding him, enumerates them again and calculated the distance in strength, difference in strength between the two armies. He means, of course, that all the warriors of his side are determined to fight to the last, to lay down their lives for his sake. But by stroke of tragic irony, it is indicative of their destruction in the battle. Some commentators hold the view that it is an ill omen for Duryodhana. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tudametesham balam bhimabhirakshitam balam bhimabhirakshitam. There is a difference of view among the commentators about the meaning of the words aparyaptam and paryaptam. Anandagiri, Shankarananda, and others give the meaning limitless to the word aparyaptam. Sridhara Swami and others give the opposite meaning, limited. But it appears that the first meaning is more appropriate to the context and is consistent with the earlier estimate given by Duryodhana in the Udyoga Parva in Mahabharata and in the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. Duryodhana, speaking to his father and Drona respectively, glories the strength of his own army. There is every reason why he should speak well of his own army in the present situation when they are about to fight the battle. It would also be remembered that in the Bhishma Parva, speaking to Dronacharya, Duryodhana utters exactly the same words while estimating the superior power of his own army. Well protected by Bhishma, Duryodhana says his army is well protected by Bhima. Well protected by Bhima. Why should Duryodhana refer to the Pandava army as well protected by Bhima when Drishtadyumna is the actual commander? The following reasons may be considered. Duryodhana naturally thinks of Bhima as the most deadly enemy for himself and to his brothers. Though Drishtadyumna is the commander, Bhima was entrusted with the task of protecting the army. Number 3, on the first day, Bhima was posed at the foremost point of the Vajravyuha. So it is quite probable that Duryodhana should see Bhima first at the head of the Pandavas' army. Now we are going to the 11th shloka. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yata bhagamamastita bhishmamevabhirakṣanto bhavanta sarva eva hi. Therefore, in the rank and file, let all generals standing firmly in their respective divisions guard Bhishma alone. Commentary. Bhishma was the most powerful hero, well capable of protecting himself. Why should Duryodhana caution others to keep him safe and well protected? There is a reason for it. The son of Drupada, Shikandi, was a first an eunuch. Bhishma was pledged that he would never fight, never face eunuch in the battle. So if the Pandava should place Shikandi at the foremost point of their army, Bhishma would not face it, and so his power would be partially neutralized. Taking advantage of it, the, the enemies might injure and kill him. Duryodhana knew the secret, so he directs all the all the leaders of his army to see that Shikandi is kept out of the way so that Bhishma would be free to fight at his best. If Bhishma was safe, he would be able to make the most powerful onslaught on the Pandava army and be the bulwark of defense for the entire Kaurava army. Knowing this, he directed all to protect Bhishma in all possible ways. So that finishes the first section of the 11 shlokas of the first chapter, becomes the first section. There are 800 shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita. If we consider 10 shlokas a section, there will be 80 sections approximately. I make a section by the description in the 11th shlokas. They are the descriptions of the warriors of the two armies. What we said is the description of the people who are on both sides of the army. So we will continue the second section of the 12th to 19 verses on Sunday. Every Sunday we will place the Gita, Bhagavad Gita group. We will do that. I am concentrating at the moment with Bhagavata Purana, which takes a long time to finish because I am going in a full details, which is very difficult for the people to follow also. I will talk about the second section on Sunday. Thank you very much.